There's a certain horror franchise that crawled out of the 1970s with a vibe so weird, so dreamlike, it felt like it was channeled from another dimension rather than written. Imagine this, a teenage boy haunted by visions of his dead parents, a spectral tall man who works in a mausoleum and turns corpses into hooded dwarf slaves, murder spheres that fly through the air and drill into skulls, a killer four-barreled shotgun, and a grave-robbing funeral director who seems to defy death itself. Sounds like the kind of fever dream you'd wake up from in a cold sweat, right? Well, it wasn't a dream, it was a franchise, one that staggered its way across 5 movies over nearly 40 years. And here's the kicker, it never stopped being bizarre, surreal, and oddly touching. The glue, the cast, particularly Angus Scrimm as the malevolent tall man, and the cult bond between Mike and Reggie, the teenage orphan and the ponytailed ice cream man turned unlikely action hero. But after Scrimm passed away a few years back, the dream ended. With him went the soul of a series that never quite got its due. Because I'll say it again, why wasn't this a TV series from the start? Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today we're resurrecting the corpses of dead ideas to discuss a horror property that should have been eternal, not just in theme, but in format. The Phantasm Saga follows Mike Pearson and Reggie Bannister as they unravel the nightmarish plot of the Tall Man, an interdimensional being who uses funeral homes as harvesting stations for the dead. His purpose? To crush, shrink, and reanimate corpses into slaves for his home dimension. Think Space Satan meets steampunk mortician. The films follow Mike and Reggie through different times, different realities, and what may or may not be dreams. Continuity, optional, atmosphere, off the charts. So why not a series? The television format would have allowed this world to breathe. Think of it like Arrow meets Supernatural with a touch of Twin Peaks, past and present colliding to fill in the pieces of an unending war. You'd start in the now, with Reggie searching for the missing Mike, dealing with strange occurrences, abductions and weird locals in backwater towns, then interwoven flashbacks to Mike's youth, the loss of his family, the first time he saw the tall man lifting a coffin one-handed like a gym bro, and his growing paranoia. Season 1, it's a slow burn into madness. We explore Mike's descent into obsession as Reggie begins to uncover the tall man's influence spreading across rural America. The season ends with the funeral home being destroyed and Mike being pulled into another dimension, lost and unreachable. Season 2, Reggie goes full-on hunter. He's a drifter now, traveling from state to state, tracking down reports of flying spheres, disappearing graveyards, and unexplained deaths. Meanwhile, Mike is a prisoner in the tall man's realm, a place of endless red skies, warped gravity, and moaning dead things. So, this season really digs deeper into the mechanics of the tall man's operations. We learn that he isn't just a single being, but more like a fractured presence that exists across different timelines. Think multiverse, but, you know, malevolent. Season 3, right? It's time to break out the origin story. Jebediah Morningside, a 19th century mortician, gets totally obsessed with death and space-time. We follow his descent, from a grieving doctor to a proper cosmic necromancer. Flashbacks show his early experiments with tuning forks, black holes, and, well, corpse resurrection. You see the transformation into the tall man? His first kill, his first army of dwarves? Meanwhile, in the present, Reggie meets others who've survived encounters with the tall man. Some worship him, some hunt him, and honestly, the stakes go cosmic. So, Season 4 is where we start playing around with time loops and alternate realities. This is your big mind-bend season, a bit like how Phantasm 4 used some of that unused footage from the original to show those missing events, you know? We get to revisit Mike's past, but this time it's all through his own eyes. What really happened in that town, eh? Was any of it real? Or did the tall man, implant false memories just to mess with him? Reggie starts to wonder if Mike can actually be saved, or if, honestly, he's already turned into one of them. Loyalties start to waver, and well, doubt just creeps in, doesn't it? Season 5, now we're talking full-blown apocalypse. The tall man isn't hiding anymore. Cities are starting to fall, the dead are rising, and dimensional portals are popping up all over the place. Mike and Reggie do reunite, but, things have really changed. Mike might be the key to destroying the tall man, or, he could end up ushering in the tall man's final form. Flashbacks become fractured visions, and past versions of the tall man clash with the present. It's like, imagine Doctor Who meeting Hellraiser with reality just, completely unraveling. The season wraps up in the tall man's domain, one final showdown, right inside a dimension where gravity warps, time is meaningless, and hope is, well, just a dying star. And the best part, this show doesn't have to end, not really. The tall man is eternal, mate. You could pass the torch to new hunters, explore other dimensions, or even loop back in a totally different timeline. The possibilities are as endless as the dreams that birthed the original films, honestly. But instead, we got 5 movies spread across 4 decades, with multiple retcons, wild tonal shifts, and, decreasing budgets. The later films, they really struggled to keep that eerie magic of the originals going. The story started eating its own tail, diving into timelines, false memories, and alternate selves until even the most die-hard fans had to shrug and go, sure, why not? And when Angus Scrimm passed away, the coffin was closed for good. The soul of the tall man died with him. No disrespect to the filmmakers, they gave us something beautifully weird, but imagine what could have been. Imagine 10 seasons of dread. Working on the films for 40-plus years, they could have made 1 episode a year, and we watched the actors age 40 years and 40 hours, adding to the surrealism. Imagine a villain like the tall man stalking streaming audiences every week, building lore, building fear, whispering, "Boo," at the end of every mid-season finale. But alas, Hollywood gonna Hollywood. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.